Welcome back, everyone, to Olympia football. Today we are going to preview Week 5 upcoming against Oklahoma, coming off that huge win against rival Utah. Let's go ahead and take some comments from last week's game. Remember, you can comment at us with hashtag OlympiaStrong. Let's go ahead and start here. Jesus R6685 says, I need to see Olympia versus Oregon. And yeah, I can look to talk to Coach Hunt about that, about getting Oregon scheduled. We can try to go to Eugene and give some apparently fans on the West Coast in Oregon a chance to view the game. I think that's a good idea. Oregon always a pretty good team, a lot of talent there, a lot of speed. Guys like McIntosh would, if they're still here, of course, would have to really step up. A lot of our defensive secondary would need to be very quick. They always have very fast players on Oregon. Let's go ahead and take another comment here. This one from, this is from Texas Chick 23. Defense for the win, beat the Sooners, hashtag Olympia Strong. Thank you so much for that comment. And yes, the defense was huge in this game. I mean, the Indiana game was fantastic for the defense, and this game were great for the defense. The San Diego State one was obviously a little bit of a setback, I feel like, but if the defense can play like they did today against a much more talented, I feel like even Oklahoma team, they should be a team to watch out for the rest of the year. Of course, we'll see. Again, this is a lot more talent we're going to be seeing in Oklahoma here than the Utah Utes. Of course, Utah already a pretty good one, but Oklahoma's just on that other tier. They also have former Coach Cooke, coaching them. Of course, he doesn't know our current scheme quite the same as, it's not the same as when he was here. So I think it really comes down to how well the defense can hold up against a much more talented team, and then how well Tyler Hunt can game plan and our new offensive scheme can really work against a team of that caliber on defense. So let's go ahead and jump into some recruiting. And we'll kick things off with Bingham versus Lone Peak here. A big game against the number one team and the tied for second team in the state of Utah, as Jonathan Ryan quickly getting things started off with a pick here. They kept trying to feed Walter Graham again, something that got him upset last game, I feel, and they had to kind of go away from that formula here as Tim Jackson getting beat. I hate to show highlights like these for him. He's such a good player, but getting beat there. Fortunately, a missed throw there from Bingham. Now, this is Taylor Wilson, of course, the junior. A nice throw here. He really has looked like the best quarterback in the state of Utah this year. Of course, he won't be eligible to go to college after this season because he's a junior. And then Rome Wallace at Mike linebacker. He had a really good game. Should have been a pick six here. Taylor Wilson dropping back. They need to make a comeback. A nice throw here. Desperation throws at this point as Lone Peak found themselves down. And then a throw off his backfield does get picked off this time by Rome Wallace. He's returning this one down to the 20, to the about 11. This was a huge high-scoring game as Bingham did come out on top of Lone Peak, and now we have a tie again at first place. Taylor Wilson had a fantastic game outside of that one interception, and yeah, just a great game there. Let's go ahead and look at Herriman versus Pineview now, as Herriman, they really struggled a little bit in this game. A fumble here from Nicole, and this one will be returned for a touchdown as Pineview was putting him on the back foot for a little bit. But Herriman ended up coming through. A deep throw here from Valentino Martinez, and then play action, dropping back, throwing this one up, intercepted. So not exactly great games from their top players. And Nicole did come back to play a little better, however. You can see him on the run here. And then play action, Martinez, a nice throw out into the flats. And then another play action, Martinez, a deep throw here, and that is caught, and that would be run for the touchdown as Herriman again would come up and win this game, but it was close for a little while there. And you can see just not the best game from everybody. Justin Bright, DNP, as he was dealing with some sort of nagging injury, something to keep an eye on going forward. Now to Highland and Timpview, and Razzie Scott Royal continues to be the best safety in the state as Clint Smith forces a strip sack there. Then Razzie Scott Royal with the pick. This was a really good game from Highland's defense. Unfortunately, their offense was nowhere to be found. Andrew Sanders here, really good, probably best tight end, although maybe Walter Graham has that title in the state of Utah. And Timpview would come out on top 9-6. This is a barn burner of a game. And you can see Razzie and Clint Smith had fantastic games, but they just don't have an offense in front of them. So looking at the standings, We have a 4-way tie for first now. Timpview sitting alone at 5th, and then a 2-way tie for 6th between Highland and Pineview. Northridge, unfortunately, and former Coach Cooke's son sitting at 8th. Go ahead and take a look at this upcoming game against former Coach Cooke, who I'm sure was watching his kid play at Oklahoma now, and number 24 in the nation. I'm really excited to see this team. I'm really excited to see our former coach, and I'm excited to hopefully beat them, because I mean, they're just, this would be the ultimate revenge game, it feels like. Especially, you know, Oklahoma's beaten us historically back when they had Cole Bright. They were a really good team then, had the best quarterback in the nation arguably, and here we are playing them once again, this time with our former head coach. So taking a look around the league as well, just give you an update of where everybody else is at. You know, a lot of movement in the top 25 polls. The top 10's been pretty solid for a while though. Seems like Texas currently getting that number 1 spot. We'll see how long that lasts. Oklahoma might have something to say about that going forward, I hope. The one game I hope Coach Cooke does win. Obviously not this week. And yeah, I mean, it's just, you got Utah State at 26th. Kansas is in the mix, so I think it's a really good time for the Big 12. We're looking very strong here. Of course, Maurice Larson, the quarterback out of A&M, is currently the front runner for the Heisman, as Lance Lawson, not the best season so far for him, and USC kind of struggling. We'll go ahead and look at players of the week here, and yet again, no Olympia players on the list. Not too surprising, I suppose. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this stacked Oklahoma team. I think the guy I'm most worried about right now is Carter, the running back. He's really solid. Their wide receivers are great too, and I think they have a good quarterback throwing to them, but running has been our big bane of our defense so far. Their offensive line is excellent, so I think this is going to be a game where they can pretty much run at will, and I need to see us be stout along the line. Their defense is really good. Their secondary is really good. Their linebacking core is really good. I mean, this is a stacked team, and I just hope we can go ahead and show some competitiveness in this game. So that pretty much sums it up. I mean, you know, it's one thing to face a team as talented as the Oklahoma Sooners, even though they are in a bit of a spiral now at 2-2. It's another thing entirely to face one that is coached by your former coach, one that, you know, really has something to prove, especially, you know, falling almost out of the rankings. I think I really do harken back to when we played Cole Bright at Oklahoma. I believe that was either year 2 or year 3, and it was a really competitive game for the most part. An Olympia team that was much worse than this one, to be honest, really holding strong against a great player. And I want to see the Raiders not just be competitive in this game, I want to see them win it, frankly. This is a team that should win the game, just going off the rankings. Now, if we go off a less biased source, probably not on paper expected to win, but a team that frankly has all the pieces they need to pull off the upset. It really comes down to how well can Christian Armstrong hold up as the quarterback. You know, of course, that does remove a lot of our option game, especially with how much he's gotten banged up already this year. And then how good can the running game be? And that comes down to the offensive line, because I feel like J.J. Thomas and Kirk Doherty have been really solid when they've been given a chance. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I will see you in the next week. We will take on the Oklahoma Sooners and former coach Eric Cooke. Until then, have a good one. I'll see you next time.